I want everybody to get to know what Backcountry Horsemen is all about. Many of you probably already know. I'm trying to move my screen so I can see everything, but we have 5 common purposes to perpetuate common sense use and enjoyment of horses in backcountry and wilderness, to work to ensure that public lands remain open to those horses, to educate, encourage, and solicit participation in the wise and sustainable use of our stuff, to assist various government agencies in the maintenance and management of our resources, such as trails, that's like our big one, and to foster and encourage the formation of new backcountry horseman chapters within Colorado, and in my opinion, in other states. You guys will get to hear from Backcountry Horseman Texas later today, which is going to be exciting. So what exactly do we do? Like, what are we out there doing on a day-to-day basis and month to month? We're more than just a boots on the ground trail workforce, but that's a major part of what we do. We like to teach beginners how to be safe out on the trail. Me personally, that's where my Cabin Fever Ride series comes in. I like taking green horses and green people out and teaching them about leave no trace principles, how to be safe on the trail. Our last year's board came up with a really phenomenal pre-ride safety check, and I love to go over that with people so that we're all on the same page for a ride. We also, like on a higher level, we lobby local and state, and our national organization lobbies national representatives to keep horses at the table and give us access. Plus, of course, your membership dues help fight. We need lobbyists on a state and national level to keep us in the conversation. And so some of your membership dues go toward that. So for anybody that maybe is late joining, I wanted to leave this on the screen for just a minute. We do have bylaw voting going on right now until 6:45. So if you follow the little, there's a link in the chat. So if you know how to get to the chat, go over there and click the link and make sure you have your full name and full email that you used for your membership for this chapter. And if you're interested in talking or commenting, you can comment in the chat or you can raise your hand. I won't be able to see those for a little bit, so I'm going to keep moving on. So that'll be up there for a few more seconds for you guys.
Yep. And that is in the chat there for everybody. So
thank you, Sadie. Do you have anything to add while I'm taking a drink?
Yep. So just everybody just joining. If you're looking for the chat, it'll be in your Zoom toolbar. Basically, there will be a little chat icon and you can click on that. That will bring up the side panel and it'll have the link. So that's all I've got to say.
Sweet. All right, I'll move on. And if anybody has questions about that, you can pop them in the chat and Sadie will help you while I'm talking. So last year, we logged over 1,700 hours of volunteer time, which equates to about $20 an hour. So that's how we kind of convert that to give a monetary value to what we have given or donated to Forest Service or BLM or CPW or any other groups that we work with. We got several of our Sangre de Cristo trails open. My favorite, of course, Macy Lake, 235-ish down trees to clear that 6-ish mile trail. So it was a serious effort. Most of our 1,700 hours probably came from that trail. We also do Lake of the Clouds and North Brush. This year, I'm hoping to get some like serious maintenance with some machines in there to fix some of the erosion happening on what I call Hell Ridge. And then we're also looking at Helena and several other people rode. I think Sadie also rode near the Sand Creek trails from Music Pass. And we're interested in partnering with, I believe that's National Park Service, and getting the Sand Creek trails opened up again because they had several horse stoppers on their trails. We also assist BLM with trail development and planning. We're working on getting a trail from the trail from the banks or Shelf Road Recreation Area, the part down at the bottom where the horse trailer parking and camping is, that leads up the road and up to the other trailhead where all the camping is. No one uses that trail anymore and they ride up the road, which personal opinion, I don't love it. Like cars can go kind of fast or on the sharp turns, they don't see us. So we're working on with BLM to develop the trail off the road that takes you up to all the main trails at Shelf Road. Last year, one of my favorites, we also partnered with Mission Wolf to give education about wolves in the wilderness. Several people that are in this chat maybe remember some of the facts from it. One of the things that stuck with me was of a bear, like grizzly bears, black bears, a mountain lion, and a wolf. You're way more likely to see a bear or a mountain lion up close than you are a wolf. Wolves, like, apparently will only come within a half mile of a human. So at most. So that was a really fun trip. I really enjoyed that. And I think a lot of our members did as well. That's a picture of Angie getting a wolf kiss. We also last year lobbied the city of Canyon City for more trail access for equestrians. Some of our longer time members may remember a couple years ago, they took our access from Royal Gorge Park. So we've been lobbying to make sure Canyon City doesn't forget that it is a very popular horseback riding destination. We also worked with Wet Mountain Valley Saddle Club to provide camping for our trail work volunteers last year. This picture is from our Celebrate the Sangres event on Sunday, when we were meant to ride a third time out into the Sangres, but the weather told us that we were going to be doing otherwise. We also worked with our local members and trainers to provide an educational demo about packing. I'm hoping that we have more opportunities for that this year. But we really accomplished a lot last year. I'm really impressed with our chapter for the small chapter that we are, and the fact that our board really does a lot of the work and the heavy lifting and planning and implementing events. Like, we still got members to come out and do things. So what I'm going to do is take a few minutes to share some pictures and some stuff from the events that we did last year. Our packing demo, we had, I believe, 5 different people. We had Larry Simmet and Jim Stevens and Miles Riley, Stephanie Skidmore, and Greg Cook came out. I apologize if I'm forgetting anybody else that was there for that event, but we had them set up a lot of different things. Down the bottom left, Miles taught about how to teach a horse to lead by the foot, which is kind of laying the groundwork for hobble training. And very, very valuable, as many would know. The top left, a large group listened to Greg Cook tell some pretty crazy stories about how he learned the hard way about packing. And then Larry on the right did a knot tying demo that was extremely popular. And I think we have a member here, Andrea, who really specifically enjoyed Larry teaching her how to tie knots, because I think I know one knot, maybe 2, and one of them is useful for horses. So it was really nice. Last year, we also did the Cabin Fever Ride series, kind of a thing to get, like I said earlier, getting green riders or horses out on easy trails in the spring to get the cobwebs off in a supportive group. Here are pictures from a couple of the rides last year. On the right, you'll see our board member Katie on one of her horses navigating an ATV trail on Seep Springs, which is a pretty steep segment. And then I believe the top left also looks like Seep Springs, but gosh, I can't remember at this point. And then bottom left is a small group of us went up and we did Island in the Sky at Oil Well Flats for a challenge, because we were all kind of feeling like our horses were able to handle it. It's a really nice ride to do counterclockwise on horseback. I am bringing the Cabin Fever rides back this year. So if you have questions about those dates, ask me later or in the chat. Also, Grape Creek, Sadie and Brandon spent a lot of time out there. Last year we had, I think, Tim and Rob Rickgower and a lot of other members were out there just working. This trail, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The horses love work rides out at Grape Creek because it's all green grass. You tie them up to a tree and they eat green grass for 20 minutes while you're cutting logs and getting rid of all the willow and stuff like that that gums up the trail. The beavers make this trail absolutely different every year, every month, every week. I have not been on that trail and haven't been the same trail every time. And I personally have only been out to the temple from the Ecology Park trailhead 2 times because it's just that kind of challenging trail. As you can see on the right, our longtime member Becky found a deep spot in a water crossing. We've got Amanda, who runs Moss Rock Endurance, in the top left, and then down at the bottom, Diana. She is the daughter-in-law of Larry Simmet. We were out, that's a fun ride picture. But it's a different kind of ride. You can ride it in the fall, in the spring, summer, if you want to go swimming. It's one that we spend a lot of time working on, and BLM knows that we hate those beavers, but we also, we respect Leave No Trace, and we do our best not to disturb any kind of natural habitat that's out there. Also last year, we did our Brighten the Sangres, which is, Tim brought back a couple years ago. It's annual event in June where we kind of start to look at the damage that happened in the Sangres over the winter with deadfall and storms and things like that. So here's some pictures from last year. The top left is Tim and Mary and her husband, Tom, using a crosscut out on, I think they went to North Brush, but don't hold me to that. That might actually be the picture on the left with Tim. I think that's the same ride. I think that's North Brush. Others would know better. The bottom left is our wonderful, hardworking, who probably cut 234 of the 235 trees on Macy Lake. Brandon, who is holding, it's an iconic, wonderful picture, I think, of that Sadie took of him holding our silky saw to attack this like insane amount of deadfall that was out there. Like, and at some point, ask Sadie or Brandon about it, because it was just nonstop. But those silky saws, they do not mess around. They rival a chainsaw for sure. Last year was our first time doing a Celebrate the Sangres event. The idea was just to come out and celebrate the hard work of our volunteers and check out some new trails. We really wanted to invite new people who maybe had never done backcountry horseman type of things, or they had never done anything in the Sangres. We really just want people to come and appreciate and ride them. That's kind of the whole point that we open it, not just for our own members. And so we did a fall color ride, which, as you can see, the difference from before we do the work to after we do the work, it takes months and the colors change. I shared pictures that I took from our Macy Lake ride. Betty Faye is in the fluorescent orange, crossing by some really considerate ATV users on Rainbow Trail. And then the top left shows a picture of Copper Stain Cliffs. In the very top left of that picture, you can kind of see them. It's just a really nice, these are some new members that joined last year specifically to come on this ride. It was really a fun venture, and others that led rides. Sadie could tell you more about the experience down on Music Pass, but it's a really nice thing for Wet Mountain Valley Saddle Club to allow us to camp there, and it benefited all of us. I think it was a really nice experience. So what's coming up in 2023? I can't check the chat. If there's a comment for me to respond to, I can. I just can't open the chat.
Nothing yet.
Okay. We got a whole 13 participants tonight, guys. This is amazing. I'm thrilled. So for those 13 people that are here, I hope you'll stick around this year, because we do have some really cool stuff. I can't quite see. I believe this says goals. The way I have it sharing, I can't quite see it, but our goals kind of focus around increasing our volunteer hours. And I want to do that from my experience in backcountry horsemen over 6 or 7 years. What I've seen works best to get participation is to create more different types of rides, events, clinics, and so on, to serve a larger area and to serve a different type of population. We have people from way all across Colorado that join our chapter. We have people from Texas and Kansas that join our chapter. So they're not necessarily going to be able to come out and do a work ride every weekend. And so to offer things to our various types of members, even non-riding events, because not everybody can ride anymore, but they want to support us and to support the work that we do. So we want to make sure that we're providing things for our chapter. It's something I've said for a long time. As my 3rd year as president, I'll say it again. We serve our membership. We want to give you guys what you want and what you are interested in doing. As long as it furthers our mission, we're totally happy to do it. I also really want to focus on expanding some partnerships. Working with Canyon City, working with Levita Trails, Trails for All down in Westcliff. There's a lot of organizations that we can partner with and do crossover events with, or help them on trails, just to show them that we're not just 100% focused on equestrians. That's our main purpose, to keep horses on the trail. But one of the ways that we're going to be able to do that is to be friendly and friends with other users. And then I said, Cabin Fever Ride series is back. I believe Sadie could probably do a little digging and verify, but I believe my first date that I put out for that is March 31st, and it'll be at Seep Springs. And we also have, I should mention, this Saturday, since I'm thinking of it, we're doing our Seep Springs ride to the cross and work ride and chili potluck with the Royal Gorge ATV Club to celebrate and dedicate the sign that we had put up. They're changing the trail name at Seep Springs that rides up to the cross. We're changing that to the Fred Garza Memorial Trail. So for any of you that are in this chat that knew Fred Garza, it's really neat that the BLM was willing to change the name of a trail. And so we're going to do that ride on Saturday. It looks like the weather is going to be okay. We meet at 10, ride at 10:30, and back down hopefully by about 2 o'clock or 2:30 to hang out with the chili potluck guys. So if you want more information, that's on Facebook or in your email, if you are getting our current emails, hopefully. This year, okay, here's my big one. Okay, we're in the process of getting this all put together. I'm calling it ABC Sangres, because we have our Brighten the Sangres and we have our Celebrate the Sangres, and I'm going to add and kind of adapt things a little bit. And we're going to call it Assess the Sangres to start. And we're going to do a 3-part series of assess, brighten, and celebrate the beautiful Sangre de Cristo Mountains. So here's our tentative dates. The board and I have been, boy, like we've been working our little tushies off on getting this moving. Katie will probably have a chance to share out and talk about it a little bit. We're working on a BCH America grant to give us some more funds for this so that we can pay to use the spaces that we're using for these events. But if you want to save the dates now, these are our tentative dates. So you could take a picture of this or screenshot it. And probably we'll be able to share out this whole PowerPoint to everybody at some point. So the Assess the Sangres is what Brighten the Sangres used to be. And that's going to be mid-spring, low elevation. We probably won't get very high up because we're going to evaluate and see what we need to do. And also there'll still be snow on the ground at about 10,000, 11,000 feet. So we just won't be able to go very far. Then Brighten the Sangres is what we're going to call basically the middle of the summer, working on the trails and getting them clear. We'll have one official date, and then there will be plenty of other additional solo rides or independent little Brighten the Sangre rides throughout June, July, August. But our official one will be that July 28th weekend. It's after the Wet Mountain Valley Saddle Club's rodeo event. And then Celebrate the Sangres planned for September 22nd, another fun fall color ride. If you want to come for all 3 days or 1 day or come down for the day or overnight, all of these, will have all of these options. And none of this is published anywhere other than here. Like I said, we're still working on like the whole process and making sure everything is falling into place, but these are our tentative dates. I'll leave it up for just a second. And of course, this will be like the one time that I ask you guys, please help. Even just showing up and being there is helpful. Just being one of the people that rides, or you bring something for a potluck at the Assess the Sangres, or you come out and work on North Brush for a little bit. I don't care how you help. I would just love the help. So please reach out, comment in the chat, or email me, text me if you have my personal number. Tell me how you want to help out and if you can. And again, no one's required to help. No one's required to go to all of these events. I'll be there at all of them because I'm kind of running it, but like none of you are required to go, but I would love to see you there. The whole point is to do this for you guys. And also, if we're doing trail work, we often need someone to just hold the horses while someone else is wielding the silky saw. So that is definitely an option. So I'm about to wrap up here with my little presentation. And this is kind of our motto for the year. Just help how you can, when you can, if you can. Okay. If all you do is join and give us $40 or $50, that helps. It helps us buy silky saws. It helps us send money to state and national to lobby for equestrian trails. That's okay. That's enough for me. And that's enough for our chapter. If you're able to saw a log and it's just one log, if you can go out and saw 235 like Brandon and Sadie did, it really doesn't matter. We just want your help in whatever way you feel capable. There's a lot of options for you out there. So this is pretty much where I want to leave you guys with this presentation. So if you have any questions about the pictures, a lot of the 2 log cutting were at Lakes of the Clouds. The top left is a little group ride that we did up at the bank. That's where the caves are, where a lot of the rock climbers hang out. We got another wolf picture in the top right. And the bottom right is, I think that was a spring ride at Deer Haven, which is another one of our trails that we love. So that's just my last little pitch. Help how you can, when you can, if you can.